Baltimore's bats erupted for 4 homers and San Diego survived a wild 8-7 slugfest with Toronto to headline a jam-packed Saturday around the majors, while Esrelin Valdez put on a 2-homer, 6 RBI power show to lead a Pirates doubleheader sweep of Milwaukee. The Pirates opened their day-night doubleheader with Milwaukee by outslugging the Brewers 7-6 in a back-and-forth opener at PNC Park. Esrelin Valdez was the whole show, going 3 for 4 with 2 home runs and driving in 6 runs to power Pittsburgh's offense, a monster line that also lands him among the day's top fantasy performances thanks to his multi-homer game. Milwaukee didn't go quietly, with Jake Bauers and Sal Frelick both going deep to keep the Brewers within striking distance all afternoon, and Christian Yelich, Cooper Pratt, and Garrett Mitchell all chipped in hits. But Pittsburgh's pitching staff closed it out, with Carmen Ledzinski working 3 innings to pick up the win and Gregory Soto locking down the save with his scoreless final frame. Brandon Lowe, Jake Mangum, Henry Davis, and Nick Gonzalez all reached base for the Pirates in support of Valdez's huge day, and the 7-6 final set the tone for what turned into a sweep of the twin bill against Milwaukee. Pittsburgh completed a doubleheader sweep of Milwaukee, taking the nightcap 3-2 behind another home run from Esrelin Valdez, who went deep for the second straight game on the day after his 6 RBI explosion in the opener. Johan Ramires picked up the win with a scoreless inning of relief, and Mason Montgomery slammed the door with a clean save to finish off the sweep. Milwaukee's offense had its moments on the bases even in defeat, with Jackson Chourio swiping 2 bags and Jake Bauers adding another steal. A strong all-around game for Chourio that stands out as one of the day's better fantasy stolen base performances. Ryan Reynolds, Billy Cook, and Rafael Flores Jr. all had hits for the Pirates, while Joey Ortiz, Christian Yelich, Garrett Mitchell, Bryce Terang, and Luis Lara kept Milwaukee competitive at the plate, but Pittsburgh's bullpen was airtight in the second game, allowing the Pirates to close out a satisfying sweep over their NL Central rival. Minnesota took down the Angels 5-3 at home, getting a home run from Royce Lewis to help fuel the win and improve to a winning day at Target Field. Tommy Nance picked up the victory with a scoreless inning of relief work, and Yoendrys Gomez slammed the door with a clean save to close it out. The Twins spread their offense around all afternoon, with Victor Caratini, Austin Martin, Tristan Gray, Josh Bell, Alan Rodin, Trevor Larnach, and Luke Kershaw all recording hits to back up Lewis's power. Los Angeles put up a fight late, getting a stolen base apiece from Zach Neto and Wade Meckler as they tried to manufacture runs, and getting hits from Mike Trout, Jorge Soler, Denzer Guzman, Nolan Chanel, and Meckler himself. But the Angels couldn't string enough together against Minnesota's bullpen, and they dropped the 5-3 decision on the road despite a competitive effort from top to bottom of the lineup. Chicago's White Sox squeaked out a 1-0 win over the Athletics in a tightly pitched afternoon game on the south side. Eric Fed was outstanding, working 4 scoreless innings with 3 strikeouts to earn the win, and Grant Taylor came on to lock down the save with 1.2 shutout innings. Offense was tough to come by all game. U.S. Angel Acuna, Randall Grichuk, and Chase Maderoth were the only White Sox with hits, while Joshua Kiroigrauer and Jacob Wilson were the lone Athletics to reach base via hit. It was a rough afternoon for Oakland's offense in a game they simply couldn't solve Chicago's pitching, and the shutout loss extended the Athletics' skid to 7 straight defeats, one of the longest active losing streaks in baseball right now. For the White Sox, the low-scoring win was a nice bounce back behind a strong start from Fed and a shutdown finish from their bullpen. San Francisco held off Colorado 4-2 at Oracle Park, getting a home run from Casey Schmidt and a strong outing from Tyler Mahle, who went 7 innings, allowed just 1 earned run and struck out 4 to pick up the win. JT Brubaker finished things off with a 2-inning save. Casey Schmidt, Heliot Ramos, Jesus Rodriguez, Drew Gilbert, Luis Ariz, and Bryce Eldridge all had hits for the Giants in a well-rounded offensive day. Colorado didn't make it easy, getting a home run from Kyle Carros and a terrific pitching performance from starter Kyle Freeland, who struck out 9 over 6 innings despite taking the loss. Mickey Moniak, Jake McCarthy, Hunter Goodman, Brett Sullivan, and Carros all had hits for the Rockies, but San Francisco's pitching did just enough to close out the 4-2 win and hand Freeland a hard-luck defeat despite his dominant strikeout total. The Yankees outslugged the Nationals 4-2 in Washington in a game that saw 5 total home runs fly out of the park. Ryan McMahon, Paul Goldschmidt, and Trent Grisham all went deep for New York, while Curtis Mead and James Wood answered for the Nationals. Wood was the offensive standout for Washington, going 3 for 5 with an RBI in a losing effort. Brent Hedrick picked up the win for New York with a third of an inning of scoreless relief, and David Bednar closed it out with a clean save. McMahon also chipped in a stolen base to go with his home run for a strong all-around day. C.J. Abrams, Curtis Mead, James Wood, and Luis Garcia Jr. all had hits for Washington, while Jason Dominguez, Ben Rice, Anthony Volpe, Cody Bellinger, and Trent Grisham backed up the Yankees' power surge with hits of their own. In the end, New York's power was too much for the Nationals to overcome despite Wood's big day at the plate. Boston blanked the Mets 4-0 on the road, getting home runs from Andrew Monasterio and Masataka Yoshida to power the shutout. Giovanni Moran earned the win with 1.2 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. The victory was Boston's 7th straight, one of the best active streaks in baseball right now, as the Red Sox continue to roll. Caleb Durbin and Seth and Rafaela also chipped in hits alongside the two homer hitters. New York's offense went cold in this shutout loss, managing only hits from Francisco Alvarez and Jorge Polanco, with Carson Benz swiping a bag as one of the only bright spots. It was also a quiet night for Brett Baty, who was held hitless and saw his 10-game hitting streak officially come to an end. Boston's pitching staff didn't allow a run all game, and the Red Sox left Queens having kept their winning streak alive at 7 in a row. Tampa Bay thumped Seattle 6-1 at home, getting a home run from Ryan Vilade and huge nights from Jonathan Aranda and Ben Williamson, who went a combined 7 for 8 with 2 RBIs between them, Aranda finishing 3 for 4 with an RBI and Williamson going a perfect 4 for 4 with an RBI of his own. Griffin Jax was excellent on the mound, working 5 innings, allowing just 1 earned run and striking out 3 to pick up the win. Williamson and Junior Canonero both added stolen bases in an all-around strong offensive showing for the Rays. Richie Palacios, Chandler Simpson, Nick Fortes, Yandy Diaz, and Caminero also had hits as Tampa Bay's lineup clicked on all cylinders. Seattle's offense had some bright spots even in defeat, with Josh Naylor, Victor Robles, Cole Young, Randy Arozarena, Dominic Canzone, and Cal Raleigh all recording hits, but the Mariners simply couldn't keep pace with Tampa Bay's balanced attack in the 6-1 loss. Cleveland took care of business against Miami, winning 4-1 behind a huge night from Gabriel Arias, who went 3 for 4 and swiped 2 bases in an outstanding all-around performance. Tanner Bibby was excellent on the mound, working 6.2 innings and allowing just 1 earned run with 3 strikeouts to earn the win, and Colin Holderman closed it out with a scoreless inning for the save. The Guardians ran wild on the bases all night, with Liam Hicks matching Miami's lone stolen base while Petey Halpin and Stephen Quinn also swiped bags for Cleveland. Kyle Watson, Travis Bazzana, Patrick Bailey, Brian Rocchio, and Kyle Manzardo all had hits to round out a complete offensive effort for the Guardians. Miami's offense managed hits from Griffin Canine, Heriberto Hernandez, Xavier Edwards, Kyle Stowers, Liam Hicks, and Joe Mack, but it wasn't enough to keep pace, and the Marlins fell 4-1 at home. Philadelphia beat Detroit 4-2 on the road behind a dominant start from Christopher Sanchez, who went 7 innings, allowed just 2 earned runs, and struck out 7 to earn the win. Joan Duran closed it out with a clean save. Derek Hill was a menace on the bases for the Phillies, swiping 3 bags in the win, one of the more electric stolen base performances of the day, while Bryson Stott added a steal of his own. Bryce Harper, J.T. Realmuto, Bryson Stott, Kyle Schwarber, and Derek Hill all had hits for Philadelphia. Detroit didn't go down easily, getting a home run from Eduardo Valencia and a sharp 3 for 3 showing from Matt Vierling, with Hao-Yu Lee, Kevin McGonigal, Ben Mallory, and Dylan Dingler also recording hits. But Sanchez's strong outing and Philadelphia's speed on the bases were enough to secure the road win in Detroit. Baltimore blew the doors off Kansas City, winning 6-1 behind a 4-homer outburst from Gunnar Henderson, Taylor Ward, Pete Alonso, and Kobe Mayo. Kyle Bradish was terrific on the mound, working 6.2 innings, allowing just 1 earned run and striking out 5 to pick up the win. Samuel Basallo also had a hit to round out a balanced Orioles offensive attack behind the power surge. Kansas City got a phenomenal pitching performance in defeat from Noah Cameron, who struck out 9 over 7 innings but still took the loss. It was also a rough night for Lane Thomas, who was held hitless and saw his 8-game hitting streak come to an end. Michael Massey and Jack Caglianone had the only other hits for the Royals as Baltimore's home run barrage proved far too much to overcome in the lopsided 6-1 defeat. Houston blew out Texas 9-3 on the road, getting home runs from LaMonty Wade Jr., Christian Vazquez, and Yordan Alvarez to power the offense. Peter Lambert was excellent on the mound, working 6 innings, allowing just 1 earned run and striking out 7 to pick up the win. Isaac Paredes, Jose Altuve, Jeremy Pena, Christian Walker, and Yainer Diaz all added hits as the Astros lineup clicked on all cylinders. Texas got a strong individual effort in the loss from Ezequiel Duran, who blasted 2 home runs of his own, a big fantasy line even in a losing cause. Evan Carter, Wyatt Lyford, Elias Diaz, and Cam Cauley also had hits for the Rangers, but Houston's offensive depth and Lambert's strong start were too much to overcome, and Texas fell 9-3 at home despite Duran's power show. Chicago outlasted Cincinnati 5-3 in a home run derby at Great American Ballpark, with the Cubs getting long balls from Alex Bregman and Carson Kelly, while the Reds countered with 3 of their own from Nathaniel Lowe, Eugenio Suarez, and J.J. Bleday. Michael Busch had a big day at the plate for Chicago, going 3 for 4, and Drew Pomeranz picked up the win with a scoreless inning of relief before Trent Thornton locked down the save. Ian Happ, Bregman, Kelly, Busch, Miguel Amaya, and Seiya Suzuki all had hits for the Cubs in a complete offensive effort. Cincinnati's 3 homers weren't enough to overcome Chicago's own power, even with Ellie De La Cruz swiping a bag and Sal Stewart, Nathaniel Lowe, T.J. Friedel, Eugenio Suarez, Tyler Stephenson, and J.J. Bleday all reaching base with hits. In the end, Chicago's 5 combined runs were enough to escape Cincinnati with a 5-3 road win. Louis beat Atlanta 4-1 at home, getting a home run and a stolen base from Lars Nootbaar in an all-around strong performance. Matthew Liberator was dominant on the mound, tossing 6 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts to earn the win, and Riley O'Brien closed it out with a scoreless save. Jordan Walker, Brian Torres, Nootbaar, Blaze Jordan, and Ivan Herrera all had hits for the Cardinals. Atlanta's lone run came via a Mauricio Dubon home run, and Michael Harris, Roman Dubon, Drake Baldwin, Matt Olson, Eli White, and Austin Riley all recorded hits, but it wasn't enough to keep pace with St. Louis' pitching. It was also a quiet night for Ozzie Albies, who went hitless and saw his 10-game hitting streak come to an end in the loss as the Braves fell 4-1 on the road. San Diego survived a wild slugfest with Toronto, escaping with an 8-7 win in one of the most dramatic finishes of the day. Ty France homered for the Padres, while Toronto got long balls from Jonathan Claes and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as both offenses traded haymakers throughout. Bradley Rodriguez picked up the win despite allowing a run over 1.1 innings, and closer Mason Miller was called on to lock down the tight 1-run save. The stolen base was a weapon for both sides all night. Sun Song and Jake Cronenworth, who swiped 2 bags himself, kept San Diego's offense moving, while Ernie Clement, Guerrero Jr., and Miles Straw all ran for Toronto. Jackson Merrill, Manny Machado, France, and Cronenworth all had hits for the Padres. Toronto's offense was relentless in the loss, with Luis Urias, Claes, Clement, Nathan Lukes, Guerrero Jr., and Alejandro Kirk all recording hits, and Guerrero's homer and steal combo made it an even more frustrating near-miss for the Blue Jays. In a game that saw the lead change hands multiple times, San Diego's bullpen made just enough pitches to hang on for the 1-run win, the kind of back-and-forth slugfest that made it the headline game of the day. Arizona routed the Dodgers 9-2 on the road, getting a monster 2-homer game from James McCann and another bust from Nola Arenado to power the offensive explosion. Tin Tawa also had a big night, going 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs, and Brandon Pfaadt was strong on the mound, working 5.1 innings and allowing 2 earned runs with 2 strikeouts to pick up the win. Geraldo Perdomo chipped in a stolen base, while Gabriel Morno and Max Kepler also had hits for the Diamondbacks in a complete team effort. It was a quiet night for Ketel Marte, though, who was held hitless and saw his 8-game hitting streak come to an end despite the lopsided win. Los Angeles managed hits for Freddie Freeman, Tommy Edman, Shohei Ohtani, Andy Pages, and Mookie Betts, but the Dodgers never got going against Arizona pitching, and Los Angeles fell 9-2 at home in a game that got away from the early. Boston's win streak has reached 7 straight after a shutout of the Mets, while on the other end, the Athletics have now dropped 7 in a row following their shutout loss to the White Sox. On the hitting side, 2 long streaks came to an end Saturday. Brett Beatty's 10-game hit streak was snapped in New York, and Ozzie Albies also saw his 10-game hitting streak stopped instant. It was a huge day for power at the plate, with Esmeralyn Valdez, Ezequiel Duran, and James McCann all going deep twice. Valdez's 2-homer, 6 RBI game in Pittsburgh stands out as the headline performance, while Duran and McCann delivered even in losing efforts, making them streaming-worthy ads off the wire. Speed was on display too. Jackson Chourio swiped 2 bags for Milwaukee, and Derek Hill stole 3 bases in Philadelphia's win over Detroit, a huge source of steals for anyone needing stolen bases in shallow leagues. That's a wrap on today's action around the majors. Thanks for watching, and hit subscribe so you never miss a recap.